So we honor these guys, and if you would, center your attention on that, our 50 Gold Star flag. This was made out of Southern Pines, North Carolina. The 50 Gold Stars, they resemble one individual killed in a combat zone in defense of the United States of America. There's only one of these that exists, and if you'll notice, there's signatures all over this thing. Well, each year, a different family member that shows up to the event or rides with us or drinks beer with us, or we show up at their house and steal their breakfast and eat their tacos and then leave, they sign this in honor of their fallen teammate. And there's only one of these, and there will only be one of these. Another one will not be made. So this is what Coast to Coast does specifically for the ride. So anything that you donate doesn't come to us. We don't get paid. We are no red tape. This is a pass-through. But trust me, when I tell you it's a selfish event, it does a lot for me personally. A good friend of mine, Mr. Nick Lavery, big, ginormous dude to my right over here. Very good friend of mine. I would like to introduce him. He's directly involved with probably five of our honorees over the past year. First, above-the-knee amputee operator to go back to active duty. Dude should have been dead 4 or 5 times over. We were like, hey man, we want you to come to Arizona and hang out with us. He was like, cool, I got to go to Vegas first and see the hockey game. Then I want to see the road. Then I want to go to Arizona. So if you guys would, give your attention for the next few minutes to Nick Lavery.
So normally when I do events like this, get a chance to engage with people, there's a fair amount of prep work that goes into it. I focus on a topic or series of topics and kind of just get a game plan together for what it is I'm gonna talk about, what we're gonna get into. And I had a real hard time doing that before coming here. In fact, I was unable to do that. And it hit me about a week or so ago that the reason why that was the case was because I knew I would be going into a team room environment, a place where you don't need to be rehearsed, really prepped for anything, a place where you could come in and be open about milestones, failures, where you can be vulnerable. And second, I decided that I wanted to come out here. I knew I was going to be here for a few days and really just let the energy of the event and let these guys and the people here as a part of this really just kind of speak to me, and then let them guide me on what it was I would address here, right? For just a few minutes. So these guys have spoken to me, all right? And the families that are here in the room have spoken to me as well, both directly and indirectly. So I am going to share just a few brief experiences that I've been through, but I know and you know that I'm not talking about myself. This isn't about me. I am humbly and with all due respect speaking on behalf of the people that this community represents. So Johnny said, Nick Lavery, I'm a Chief Warrant Officer with the United States Army Special Forces within 5th Special Forces Group out of Fort Campbell. If you guys haven't figured it out already, originally from Boston, Mass. Spoiler alert. Yeah, believe it or not, this is a dull accent, all right? This is dull, all right? I've been out of Boston over 15 years. You give me back up north a couple beers, no one will know what I'm talking about, all right, except for all my meathead crazy friends from back home. Real kind of just brief moment through time. Came in as an 18 X-ray to Special Forces recruit, brought me straight into Special Forces, went to 3rd Special Forces Group out of Fort Bragg as an 18 Bravo. Those are the weapons guys. Spent about 7, 8 years over there. Prior to transferring over to 5th Group, which is where I'm at now. The reason why I transferred is my wife is also active duty. She came down on orders for Fort Campbell, so obviously to stay with her, I made that move. And pretty much been doing the same thing ever since, now just over 15 years. On my second combat rotation into Afghanistan, late 2012, I was wounded in combat 3 separate occasions. First time I took some shrapnel to the back of my shoulder, blew about a lemon-sized hole, really not all that big of a deal. Out of the fight, maybe 5, 6 days, right back to work. A couple months after that, took an AK-47 round to the side of the face. Sounds a lot worse than it is, believe me. Enough to rip me open, sliced an artery. I bled quite a bit. Got that taken care of, was out of the fight, maybe 4 or 5 days the same, and then back to work after that. A few months after that was when I was wounded for the 3rd time, and it was a result of an insider attack, meaning a guy that we had been working alongside of, training and going out on operations with. He turned on us, myself, my teammates, with a truck-mounted PKM machine gun that just ripped my right leg to absolute shreds. It was in that exact incident that we lost our team leader, Captain Andrew Peterson Keel, who's one of the honorees of this ride. We lost our infantry squad uplift squad leader, Staff Sergeant Rex Shad, and we lost our military working dog, Bach, all on that day. Spent a year at Walter Reed, whole bunch of surgeries, got out of that, went back to my unit. Unit asked me, hey, what do you want to do? And I said, I'm going back to the team. They did their best to hold back the crazy look that they all really wanted to give me, which would have been fair. But that was the goal from the very beginning. That was the goal from the moment I was in the hospital, intensive care. I set my sights on going back to not only a profession that I love, but a lifestyle that I have to live. Began working as a combatives instructor and teaching CQB while I did more of my advanced recovery and rehabilitation. Eventually made it known that I felt like I was ready to give it a shot. And the 3rd Special Forces Command just ran me through the absolute ringer. Over the course of about 12 weeks, I ended up taking anywhere from 2 to 3 different assessments a week. A lot of physical stuff, cognitive stuff, proficiency evaluations, another psychological evaluation, which even though no one's admitted this to me yet, I'm convinced that people legitimately thought I was out of my mind, right? Which was fair. I mean, the way I was training, the intensity in which I was training, I just completely and totally removed any distraction that didn't need to be there at all. That includes tasks, hobbies, and people. It's a really difficult decision to make. And at the end of that 12-week assessment, I was given approval to return back to my detachment. And just about 6 weeks after that, we were back in Afghanistan conducting full spectrum combat operations. Not a whole lot has really changed since. I've deployed back to combat multiple times. I did make the transition to warrant officer a few years back. And just as of about 6 weeks ago, I finally have left the detachment life behind. And I'm now working at the company leadership level, which is tough. And a lot of guys in this room know what that transition's like. Just a quick kind of walk through time. And I just want to hop on just a few things here briefly. The first is when I set my sights on going back to doing what we do here, it was selfish in nature. It was about me proving myself right, me proving the naysayers wrong, me making the enemy regret that they didn't kill me when they had the chance. It was about me getting back to a lifestyle in which I love. Stubborn in nature, competitive in nature, but it was about me doing what I knew I needed to do. And about halfway through that 12-week assessment process, I woke up in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m. in a cold sweat. And it dawned on me in that moment, for the first time, that I was trying to go back to a team. I was trying to go back to a team with 11 other guys on it. And not only do I need to be an asset for them, not only can I not be a liability for them, but it extends beyond that one individual. Right? These guys have wives and kids. And when you work in that capacity, you are literally putting yourself and their lives and well-being in someone else's hands and vice versa. That's just the world that we live in here. And it scared the hell out of me. And I felt a lot of guilt because I hadn't thought about them once prior. So that morning, after a sleepless night, I go into work. I track down my teammates. I get a hold of some of the other guys that were off site. And I have a really candid, down-to-earth, difficult conversation. I said, hey man, here's the deal. I'm obsessed with this. I can't see if what I'm trying to do is in the best interest of this team. I can't see it. I can't look at this objectively. I need you guys to do that for me. And if you tell me right now that this is not in the best interest of us, then I will stop what I'm doing right now and I'll find another way to live the rest of my life. And all of them pretty much had the same response. And it was, hey man, listen, we've had this conversation multiple times. And the truth is we don't know if this is going to work. But we do know we want you to keep trying, keep going, keep working, and see if you can't make it back here. And if you can, then we'll take a look at it then. Had that conversation about 7 times. And when I got that response back from them, knowing I could put my trust into these men who would do that for me, it was a whole nother surge of energy that I felt coursing through my body. Because even though I had been training like an absolute madman, even though my life consisted of nothing other than eat, sleep, train, study, that was it, I was operating at a really high capacity. But rather than when I was walking into the gym for my 4th grueling workout of that day, and I'm tired, I'm beat up, and I'm sore, rather than me thinking about this glorifying moment of walking off the bird back in Afghanistan with my arms raised in the air, I was thinking about my wife, my teammate's wife. I was thinking about my teammate's 5-year-old son. And I need to go in here, smash this training session for them, for that kid. It wasn't about me. It wasn't even really about my teammate at that point. It was the family behind or alongside those guys that it was what was coursing through my brain. And it just took me to an entire different dimension of output and of productivity. That is what enabled me to do the work that I needed to do, to live the way I needed to live in order to get back to doing what I wanted to do. Right? I needed to do that for them because I wanted to do something else. Just a demonstration of the impact that our teammates have on us and that their families have on us. It's pretty powerful. Along those same lines, when I first got out of Walter Reed, I moved in with a girl that we had just kind of started an actual relationship. I can't say the word dating because I was in the hospital. She was in Afghanistan when I was wounded. She was just making her way back, right? I could leave Walter Reed, I move in with her. We had known each other for years, but we really were nothing more than friends. And within just about a week or two of me being home, I realized what I was going to have to do for this to even be remotely possible. I was going to have to punt everything else that didn't need to be there, everything. And I sat her down and I said, hey babe, here's the situation. And this is just for full transparency because I need you to know what is about to happen. I am going completely all in on this goal of mine. There is no plan B. There is no contingency plan. There's no backup. There's nothing. One of two things is going to happen. I'm going to be successful at this, or I'm going to die trying to do that. And I'm okay with either of those outcomes. So what that means for us is there will not be any dinners out. There will not be any weddings. There will not be birthday parties, for nothing. There is nothing else that will happen other than this program that I've put together with my coaches and my support staff. This is it. And I understand if you don't want to be a part of this. To say that I am blessed and fortunate and grateful that she had the strength to stay along by my side is a dramatic understatement. She's now my wife. We've been married now 6 years. We have 2 small boys. Oldest is 5, youngest is 17 months. And I just think of how easily that none of that could have happened. And my family is the highlight of my life. They are deeply rooted behind the why of most of what I do, if not all of what I do. Not only in retrospect am I grateful because of the life we have now, but she was my number one asset, my number one teammate during this hell that I put myself through. And I'd like to think that, anything is possible, but without her being that support mechanism, that teammate, really, I don't think it would have happened. Lastly, kind of wrap this up here a little bit. I know I speak for these guys when I say that there's a belief behind what we do. And it's really difficult for most people to understand that. I get a chance to talk with a lot of different people. Some even have read, my book that talks about some of the why behind it, and they still have a difficult time grasping that. You got your legs shot off by a machine gun. You were blown up. You were shot in the face. It wasn't that enough. And myself, many of these guys in this room here, these guys behind me, and many others would answer the same way I did, and the answer is no, it's not. I pledged an oath to uphold and defend a society. And I believe with all that I have that is the greatest honor anyone can bestow upon themselves, is to truly dedicate themselves entirely and selflessly for a greater cause, for a society, for a way of life. And not only that, but that same level of belief and commitment to the guys that we have the privilege to work alongside of. I knew that I would do whatever it took to going back to be alongside these guys, to serve you under any circumstances, whatever that took. These guys believe that same thing. Many of us in this room believe that same thing. It's an honor to do what we do. It's a privilege to do what we do. It's something that has to be earned every single day. And as long as I am an asset to those that I serve, to my left and right, I will continue to do what I do until that is no longer the case. These guys believe that exact same thing. When you come as close to death as I have, it does give this amazing appreciation for life and how fast it can end. Every day that we have above ground is truly a gift. Okay, so if there's one thing that you guys can take home, aside from honoring those that in which this event is designed to, is cherish the time you have here. Even the moments that suck. It's a gift to be inside those moments of pain, discomfort, and frustration. It is a gift. So see it that way. All right? Just even in that moment, deploy a little bit of gratitude for what you have and for what many who are unable to speak this message themselves have paid the ultimate price for us to all be able to do that. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for supporting this amazing organization. Johnny, Mario, the whole crew. This is truly amazing. This is my first time being a part of this. Certainly not the last. I look to ride this thing myself next year, but humbly and gratefully, thank you guys for being here and being a part of this, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.